Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
Pick up the newspaper, turn on the radio. We check in on our phones while on the go. We try to keep in touch with what's going on today. But who has time for what God has to say? Have you heard the news, my friend? Christ is coming back again. God has it in his power. He can be this very hour. Prophecies were foretold. The signs now you behold. Make ready your own soul. He's coming back again. While everyone is busy and the wicked's getting bold, seems to me like Noah's days of old. They did not heed the warning, though they heard it every day, till the great flood came and carried them away. Have you heard the news, my friend? That Christ is coming back again. God has it in his power. It can be this very hour. Prophecies were foretold. The signs now you behold. Make ready your own soul. He's coming back again. Some say it's...
Hello? Hello? Guess what time is it again? It's Friday, the 20th of June. Yes. And the time is 8 p.m. And you know when it's that time, what is on the air? Yes, my good friends, my people, we are here, keeping it real. So wherever you may be, every nook or cranny, foxhole, dog hole, crab hole, whichever water hole you may be in, taking a little relaxation and enjoying the ambience and the culture, because we are into a cultural hive right now, because Carnival is in the air. But keeping it real is here. And you know, there's never ever a dull moment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, exhale all of the bad enzyme and monoxide and dioxide and all those things that are not right and proper for you, in order to listen and to enjoy this program. And take a deep inhalation of oxygen that will replenish, refresh you, and have a clear mind and body to think, analyze, and accept this program, keeping it real. And whatever medium you may be using, whether it be social, AI or whatever, keeping it real is here. Now, I've been in and about and all around for the week. Not no one place. And the hue and cry that is out there is the state of the economy, the whole situation with unnecessary situation concerning road construction and road development, and in this hectic time and late moment where a lot of people are talking about the difficulty they are getting to access their home and inconvenience, and now the rainy season start and it seems to be a real rain, because for the month of June so far it seems like every day in some area they have been having rain constantly, whether in the morning, during the day, or late evening, and in the night. And it is causing real problem for a lot of commuters accessing their home because of the inconvenience that they are being suffered with a lot of material dropped by roadside, road are being dug up and then the rain come, material are being washed away and cause blockage in the gutter and then flooding into people's yards. And you name it. And there is no proper communication with the people as to how long will they be facing this inconvenience, or if the inconvenience is just because at any moment the bell can be rung for general election. So some people say that it doesn't really matter because the die has already been cast and they already make up their mind. So the thing right now is a foregone conclusion. Some are saying it out boldly, some are not saying anything. But I can tell you, out of every 10 person that I ask question, at least 60% are saying they need a change of direction of the way this country is being managed. They need a serious change. You see, those who are there, they have run out of idea, and all masses are facing is high inflation, taxation, and inconvenience. And people are still using the old tricks and methodology and think that that would get them across with a lot of empty promises and rhetorics that ain't making any sense, because when you listen to them, you realize it's something that they just hash up overnight and trying to come and tell us, oh, this was going to happen and that was going to happen. And they're still with the way of believing big projects and fancy talk is full belly. We have been starving for 4 years. So that is one of the main issues that are facing the masses out there. Then there's a situation with the farmers. The farmers have a lot of produce now and no market. And they say they were promised that marketing would have been far better off under this present regime. But see that ain't happening for them. And then the butchers are complaining because they say they can't get meat in terms of mutton and lamb and beef. They say there's abundance of pork. we want they can see about. But the main thing of the beef and lamb and goat, no. So that is a serious issue that we are facing with the farmers. And the farmers are saying when it comes to the small ruminant, they still suffer major predator larceny and also the problem with dogs, stray dogs. Some of them say they don't believe it's just stray dogs, it's that people will have these large dogs that have been introduced and they can't feed them regularly, so they let them loose at night and they would go and roam and kill, wipe out a whole flock of sheep with mother, lambs, and ram sheep. And same likewise with goat. You go and just see the animals in them a mall, and they don't know what to do. So a lot of small ruminant farmers are getting out of the market also too, because no compensation and frustration. So we are facing a serious situation. And yes, we are fairly offy poultry-wise in terms of eggs and so on. But a couple of weeks ago, we had a slight situation where there wasn't much eggs around. But presently, that thing has leveled out back. Because the price of eggs 2 weekends ago, a flat egg was selling for $40 because there was a scarcity. But now it's back down to $30 for a flat, $15 for half flat, and a dozen for $13.50. But we here would be having a serious impact on us based on what is taking place worldwide. The situation between the Zionist so-called Israelites and Iran will cause the rise for goods and services, because there will be a problem in terms of transportation-wise, and oil can be impacted on. Also, freight price would increase, and a number of other things. So we'll have scarcities because the regular flow between the Western Hemisphere and passing through the passage in between Iran, Iraq, and those places up there, they would be under threat, because any moment Iran could attack Arcos blockage and drop mines in the water there, so it would be a problem for boats passing through that passage. And then if they get through with the regime change in Iran, that could cause even more chaos and confusion. That could spread worldwide, and you could have similar thing like 9/11 happening. So we have to be mindful of the situation out there. And then also too, more and more information is coming out about the whole plot and scheme that was done with the vaccine and vaccine mandate and how it was never ever, and the world never had a pandemic. It was a false pretense that was pushed for their own selfish gains. People like Bill Gates and those persons who want to dictate how the world should function and be, and which ways that should be in the world, and these sort of things. And I happened to Google and found out something, and I'm following up on it. But I would let it be known. The reason why America and France are so interested in Haiti is not that they want to liberate Haiti, because Haiti was always liberated. It's the first country in the Western Hemisphere that fought against slavery, only annexed to our little country here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where the Garifunas fought against all, from them claiming St. Vincent as theirs and slavery. But in the case of Haiti, Haiti is rich in a lot of minerals. I didn't know that. I'm speaking on the truth, and I know a lot of us out there don't know that. Haiti have gold, they have uranium, and a lot of other minerals that each Haitian person can live happily. But the reason why it can't be so, because it is managed by the conglomerates and all these big companies from France and America and these other countries. And they are getting 98%, while the Haitian government is only getting 2%. Check it out. And that is the same thing that is taking place in Africa. So now we're having game changes taking place. And you're rightfully seeing why Black people on a whole are behind the 8 ball, because it's a master plan that has been put in place to keep it that way. We should always be healers of waters and carriers of wood, and not masters of our own fate. And soon as you start to rise up, they find some kind of scheme to plant it against you and make your own brothers despise and dislike you for the masters. When they were never ever masters, they were always slaves, but they did a flip when they went into Africa, and that's what happened throughout the whole world. And if you do a DNA test of all the persons in the world, every last one would have an inkling of Black in their DNA. So the master plate originated in Africa, in truth and in fact, the Ethiopian Valley. And Ethiopia also is the only state in Africa that has never ever been conquered. They have tried on so many different occasions, divide and rule and win, but it can't happen, and it won't happen. So we have a lot that we could look and research and find out. Because when Black were going to universities and had developed so many things about surgery and all these other things, the white were still living in cave and were cannibals. They are the ones who were cannibals, and they take their way and plant it on us to say that Africa is a dark and undeveloped continent. When you trace it back, it will show you where the universities and all those places and where all them went to be taught. But we don't want that story to be told. And I'm coming right back home now. when I check out the methodology of teaching in the school and see the situation, and I'm waiting for the common engine result to dwell deeper into the whole system, one would understand the whole gist behind why more of our people are not entrepreneurs and feel comfortable waiting on a handout or working for somebody else and not taking the risk of doing their own business or creative, because you were never taught that from the initial stage in school. You were taught to repeat things and hardly ever to think outside of the box. Because if you take an average 8-year-old in this country to an average 8-year-old in the developed countries, you will see how far advanced they are in terms of technology-wise and analytical. Well, don't talk about the Asians and those from the Middle East. They are way, way, way ahead of us. Which and while equality is right there, but it's the methodology that we are using. And we ever so often, when we see children tinkering and thing, we shout them down and we make them fear that thinking that what they're doing is something wrong. So if we allow them to experiment and just guide them, we would have a lot more intelligent people doing things and being entrepreneurs than the present situation that we have. You have 8-year-old and 10-year-old using AI. Tell me where here in St. Vincent that is happening. And if it is happening, I applaud for those parents and whichever organization that is aided and abetting that aspect of our operation. Yes, we have the technology available to us, but are we being taught to use technology in the way that it ought to? And I'm seeing starting from the kindergarten. Yeah. But then again, many of the teachers, they are techno-pheasant. Yeah. And they would use technology for meaningful things instead of using technology for the right purpose. Also, we are into Carnival, one of our major cultural activities of the years. And sometimes when I sit back and I listen to some old time calypso and those sort of things, and I talk to children, because like this morning I was traveling in a van, and a little chap was next to me, and one of the new soca was out, and he was saying it word for word. So I simply turned to him, I said, I hope the way how you know this here, that you can be able to read in school likewise. I say, so your face will go sour. So I say, I'm not telling you anything wrong. I say, it's good that you understand the lyrics from this song and you can sing it along with it. But then likewise, I would like you to repeat such thing when it comes to reading in school. And a little girl who was next to him, I don't know if it's his sister, cousin, or whatever, say, he can't read. So I say, no, he can read. It's just that the methodology for him reading is not being helped. He's not being helped with that. Because I said, here he is, the music coming over, but he could listen to the music. And he could sing the lyrics. But then now, you put a book in front of him, and he frees up. And she started to laugh. I said, no, don't laugh after him. I say, sorry, I don't mean anything wrong towards you. And these are some of the situations that we are not analyzing. Right? And sometimes we have to go back before we go forward. But I don't want to delve too deep into this situation here, because I think we need to have a conversation on development-wise, education, and tie everything into one. Because here I'm pushing about entrepreneurship, and everybody wants to be entrepreneur. And the Minister of Finance say that 90% of all entrepreneurs fail. I say that that is a damning statement, and he should not have made that. They don't already say it. So then, you ain't giving me much faith to try entrepreneurship if you're saying that 9% are bound to fail. Explain the reason why. And sometimes we don't know that what we see can be far more damaging than remaining silent and trying to encourage. We're not coming out with this damning statement and then making it seem like a daunting effort. So then, what the sense? What the sense? Because he said to a smile on his face and he gloating. If I was there in that audience, I would have get up and walk out. Honestly. Because he didn't give me any proper reason for me to dare and listen to who gonna be presenting or what they're gonna be presenting, because I don't get torn off. If it tell me 90% are doomed to failure, I don't want to hear that. So you basically tell me out of 10, it's only one will be successful, and that one is still have problem. No. And finally, my people, the vendors, they say they are still waiting on Tongue Board so that they could have a proper dialogue for the rest of the year. Because remember, after Carnival, we into the August vacation, and then after August, basically we are into, for say, Christmas. And they're seeing that things don't so slow for the first part of the year, and with all these things barging at them, they want to know, well, if what the opportunity would be for them, and what sort of incentive are the Tongue Board going to be putting in place to assist them, because all they know is that every Monday morning, Tongue Board coming to collect the money. Whether or not they sell anything, it doesn't matter. So, until further down, I will hold my end.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio. Join your host, Joel Abraham, every Friday as we discuss important issues affecting our society from 8 to 10:30 p.m. For persons living outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can still listen to us on Nice Radio's website, www.niceradio.info, or you can email us at bdsnice@gmail.com, or simply give us a call at 784-456-5967. Remember, it's Keeping It Real, the interactive talk show program heard each and every Friday only on Nice Radio.
Behold, I come, behold, I come, and every eye shall see me. Behold, I come, behold, I come, in great power and glory. Without music or with a sweet refrain, tell the world I'm coming again. Serious business, it is no joke. Get ready for the blessed hope. It's coming again, coming again, coming again, coming again. Ah.
Pleasant good night to all in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and those who are listening abroad. I guess most people should know where I'm going tonight. So I'm going to read to you from the old Montrose Police Training School, St. Vincent. That is the training manual that they use at the police training school at the Montrose. And I'm going to read a part of lesson 4. And I'm going to refer to the news and also the searchlight, in which the Attorney General and in the searchlight an article referring to a press conference that was held earlier this week. I must start off by saying I disagree with the first part, and I always challenge that. Summons defined. A summons is a common. No, I don't think I want to read that part. Okay. And I'm reading from page 4. Lesson 4. Under no circumstances should the warrant be handed to the person name. I disagree with that in modern time. There's all police school training manual. I think it need to be amended. And in modern time, a person, an individual should be given a copy of the warrant, but that is what we have. And this is taken directly from the Barbados manual also. Authorized entry into the premises named therein and the seizure of property relating to the commission of any offense. And it captioned in Barbados search warrant. So I'm going to continue reading. Procedure for executing a search warrant. When executing a search warrant, you should A. Make known your office, show the warrant to, and request admission. Issue with a copy of the warrant, and that is in Barbados. So make known of your office. So I am Officer Poyer, and I'm here to execute a warrant. This is the warrant, and you are obligated to show the warrant to the individual. I believe that it also should read exactly what is on it, but that is just me. If admission is refused, then forced entry can be used to secure entry. So the warrant is issued, and if admission, you asked, indicate to the person that you have permission to search his premises for illegal this or illegal that or this or that. And if the person or individuals refuse, then you, as a police officer, has the authority to use force in entering the premises or the compound. Make an inventory of the property seized and provide the defendant with a copy. So listen to that again, officers. Make an inventory of the property seized and provide the defendant with a copy. Seizure of property not covered in the warrant may be justified on grounds. Example, interest of the state, seizure of firearm, not lawfully possessed, goods believed stolen, unlawfully possessed, control drugs. Those are things that you can work with as a police officer, even is not in the search warrant according to the police training manual. After execution, endorsed the back of the warrant showing date, time, and the rank number and the name of the person presented during execution and a record of all property seized. Make a pocketbook entry of the occurrence. So I will put aside the manual at this time. So I'm reading from page 15 of the news. Police and civilians shot during house search. And I'm going to give you maybe some other information that is not here. I don't think I will call the name of all the individuals involved, but I will give you the initials. Acting Commissioner of Police Enville Williams at a press conference on Monday declined to disclose the identity of a police officer who was shot and injured allegedly by a colleague in line of duty while conducting a search operation at a private residence at Chauncey in the wee hours of the morning, and I was told it was 3 o'clock in the morning, around 3 a.m. The police officer in question is a very quiet police officer. I know him very well, and his initial is AB. His initial is AB. The police officer was shot. His name is AB, his initial. Boy, you're trying to confuse me. AB. That was the name of the police officer that was shot. The civilian that was shot, his initial is LB. His initial is LB. What I found strange, and I'm going to jumble a while, but what I found strange about the incident and the information that I received thus far is that the alleged police officer who did the shooting, and I will get to more of that just now, I am of the firm opinion that he should have been on suspension pending the investigation. I'm going to repeat that. I am of the opinion that he should be on suspension pending the investigation. But let me tell you the whatlessness that transpired. LB is a patient at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital as we speak. And the same police officer who is alleged to have shot him, the next day he was there guarding the same individual. How can that be right in any civilized society? Yes, the same police officer who was alleged of shooting that individual, LB, was there the next day providing security or guarding him. That can't be right in any civilized society. Can't be. Totally wrong. The name of the police officer who is alleged to have fired the shot is OJ. OJ, they call him a different name, but I'm not going to call that name because most persons may be familiar with it, and I don't want to give the identity at this time. But it's OJ, and the police officer is said to be from Vermont. The police officer who was shot is said to be from Belmont Calder. And the LB is from Chauncey. So, based on the information that we received at around 3 o'clock in the morning, the individual LB and his girlfriend were in the house. They heard he heard knocking on some noise on the door, like somebody wanted to enter. So from the story, he woke up his girlfriend and indicated somebody trying to get in the house. So he opened the back door, and when he was about to go out to see what happened, he was shot. The bullet left from him and went through the police officer. And while he was on the ground, the same officer, LJ, was over him with the gun, as I was told, and asking, where you want to run go? And then I was told that he's the one informed the officers there that one of the colleagues was shot. Okay. And on further information, a search was conducted few times, and nothing was found in the house. Went outside and they found some illegal things. The question is for the Commissioner of Police and other officers who may be listening. Was reasonable force applied under the circumstances? An unarmed man wasn't posing no threat, wasn't resisting anything, was reasonable force used under the circumstances based on the information you receive. And if you satisfy that reasonable force were used, well, maybe I should rephrase that. Are you satisfied under the circumstances and the report, whether or not you receive the proper report, that reasonable force were used. And should force be used under the circumstances that I explained to you? If not, why wasn't the officer in question suspended pending the outcome of an investigation? Why were the officer in question allowed to go back to work the same day and be posted at the hospital, the Milton Keita Memorial Hospital? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not at all. Then the girlfriend was detained and or kept there. And counsel, I wouldn't call the counsel name. Counsel went at the station, and I was told also represent her during the course of the week on a charge that were, I'm going to say imposed, that were placed on her. Officers, question. Oh, let me go back first before. A couple years ago, I had a retired police officer on this program. I think he was superintendent. And I asked him a question. The question I asked him, I was looking for the tape, but my system home, but I didn't find it. But I could remember the question I asked him. Do you have any regret? And the police officer, if you could remember listening to this program a couple of years ago, you would know who the police officer. I'm not going to call his name. He told me yes. He planted an evidence on an individual. He said it right on this program. So if you have the recording, you can listen it. He planted some stuff, marijuana, he indicated, on an individual and took him to the police station. When he took him to the police station, he basically indicated to him that you were found with illegal substance on your person, and it's an offense according to the law. And he indicated to me and to the rest of the world that he planted this stuff. And the individual told him that that is not his own. He don't deal with ganja, he don't deal with weed, he don't smoke, and a number of other things to that effect. And he insists that he was going to pin it on him. And he told the story that the individual give up because he didn't have no fighting power anymore. And he turned to him and said, "Officer, God will deal with you because I know I'm innocent, so do what you want." And he indicated to us here that on his way home, those words was on his mind and in his head all the way home. Officer, you know I'm innocent and God will deal with you. Do what you want. And he indicated to us here that he called to the station when he reached home and asked to release him. And the individual was released because the evidence was planted. So some question I have for the officers. Do you know of incidents where evidence are planted on individuals anytime in any search of their person or property? The other question for the officers, the gun found in the bedroom of the individuals, or any white-looking substance were found in the property of the individuals or around the neighborhood? That is a question that you have to answer. And if you are clear in your conscience, then you can or should proceed. If you're not clear, I will repeat the word that I was told. God will deal with you, all of you all, if your consciences are not clear. And I give you another story that you may not be aware of. Maybe I should leave that for a later date, but don't worry. Individuals have information and will be observing, watching what is going on. Police officers ought to do their work at the highest standard. We, as you all call us, civilians, citizens, expect better from our police officers that we are paying with our taxpayers' money. We expect you to be truthful. We expect you to have integrity. We expect you to be upright. And most of all, we expect you to be truthful. We expect you to be truthful. I have some other thing about the police officer in question, but I wouldn't get into that at the point in time. But I want to ask a question to the leadership of the police force. Was the particular police officer in question were on the beat for similar incident or incident that is not in keeping with the conduct of the police force? Why were the police officer in question transfer back to that particular unit. And this is the problem I have, right? This is the problem I have. Too often I'm hearing that when the leadership of the police force try to instill a certain discipline that they ought to, that those individual police officers will go by their godfather or the godmother. And in those cases, they are untouchable. And if the police, I believe, maybe I may put my foot in my mouth here, but I believe that if the police officer, in most circumstances, allow to do the job as they know it, we'll have a better society. We will have a better society. But the police officers, a lot of the times, they are taking instruction when they ought not to. Taking instruction from outside forces. And that, I believe, what leads to the ill discipline in the police force. That is what leads to the indiscipline in the police force. We were told one time, maybe I should leave that by the side too. But if the police officer are allowed to do their work as they know how, I think we will have a better society. And I hope, I know he may have ulterior motive, but nevertheless, I think is a good call. Attorney General call for review of police raid, and I think is a good call, even though he may have ulterior motives, because he aiming to be the constituency representative, and obviously he will be looking for every vote he can get. So obviously, things like this, where the relatives and other neighbors around who may have witnessed what has transpired, then obviously it's not going to sit well with them. So as the caretaker for the constituency, then it only fitting for Granville Williams, the one who hoping to contest their seat whenever the elections are called, indicate this. In what many consider a move that just might have more than a legal motive to it, Attorney General Granville Williams, in a statement released earlier this week, called for an independent review of a police shooting that occurred on the morning of Saturday, June 14, 2025, during a police operation in Chauncey, a community in South Leeward constituency. The operation resulted in a member of the police Royal Service Nanaganny Police Force being shot, deemed to be in critical injury, and was warded at the intensive care at the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital. Well, at this time, at this time of the article, I don't think the the Vincentian may have known that he was flown out to Trinidad and Tobago. But yes, he was then flown out for a number of reasons. And one of the reasons I was told we do not have the equipment to deal with that sort of operation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that is why a civilian was also shot and injured during the same operation. And he is at the Milton Keita Memorial Hospital, guarded by police officers. And I was told that in the first couple of days, we were guarded by Black Squad. But after maybe they realized that he doesn't pose any threat, then his ordinary police officers are there without firearm. In his call, the Attorney General come election candidate made the following recommendation: that an immediate independent review be set in operation to review the planning, conduct, and execution of the raid. Well, here, Wapeto, I have some questions. There ought to be a senior police officer who basically who are leading the police officers, and unless one of my police friends don't like to hear this, unless the trigger happy police officers or officer, they should wait on instruction from their superior. So I have difficulty understanding a lot of things that went on with that particular incident. I remember my good friend. Okay, let me move on. So, in his call, the Attorney General cum election candidate made the following recommendation: that an immediate independent review be set in operation to review the planning, conduct, and execution of the raid police operation, the chain of command, and the condition that led to the outcome of the operation, shooting injuries. And all of us will want to know what could have caused LJ to discharge his firearm on an unarmed individual at around 3 in the morning. Because we know that it's not one police officer was there, so there was a lot of police officers, and I believe they would have surrounded the house or the exit if they had more than one. So I believe that. So, in my opinion, there was no need for my good friend AB, the police officer, to be shot, and LB also to be shot under the circumstances. So let us continue. The Attorney General cautioned that the review should be impartial, transparent, and comprehensive. You're not going to get that from the police. Sorry to say that. You're not going to get that from the police. So we need maybe an independent body to do the investigation to come up with what you're suggesting here. I know all you have to call for an independent review, but that doesn't necessarily mean. Yeah, so I hope that an independent body be not only for this, but for any infraction in terms of the police operation going forward. because somebody once told me, if you try the devil in hell, no way you're going to win the case. So police investigating police is like trying the devil in hell. And yes, it's as ridiculous as that. So let us hope that my friend in Trinidad able to recover well and able to function back in the police force and be with us in the society. Let us hope that the other individual who is at the Milton Keating Memorial Hospital recovered. Let us hope that the police officers in coming up with whatever charge be guided by what they said here. I received this document from, well, it's not my good friend, but from a friend, well, an associate, acquaintance. And it was given to me on the 16th of August, 2011. And the person placed on it when they gave me the authorized copy, justice denied anywhere. It just dismissed everywhere. So justice denied anywhere, it justice dismissed everywhere. And I'm going to read this last part and I'm going to open the lines. Reopening a prosecution decision, 8.1. And I'm reading to you the Code of Prosecutors for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. People should be able to rely on the decision taken by prosecutors. Normally, if a prosecutor tells a suspect or defendant that they will not be prosecuted or that the prosecution has been open, that is the end of the matter and the case will not start again. Occasionally, there are special reasons where a prosecutor will restart the prosecution where the cost is available under applicable law, particularly in the case, if the case is serious. These reasons include where cases where reassessment of the original decision shows that it was clearly wrong and should not allow to stand. Cases which are stopped so that more evidence which is likely to become available in the near future can be collected and prepared. In these cases, the prosecutor will tell the defendant that the prosecution may well start again, or cases where they are stopped because of lack of evidence, but where more significant evidence is discovered later. And I said that was the last, but let me just indicate that I never, and you all know that, never support the amendment of the Criminal Procedure Code. Why I never support it? Because there are laws on the books already where the Director of Public Prosecution could, at any time on criminal matters, walk into any court in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, whether magistrate court or high court, and take over any criminal matter, continue or discontinue it. So that was already in the law that govern the director of public prosecution. So the issue of have to request a fiat or permission, that in my thing is a problem, because I think I saw something recently where Jomo requested from the DPP in a case in, I think it's in North Windward, and I don't know the outcome of it, but I have heard he indicated that permission was granted. But like I said, I'm going to rest here for now, and if you want to join our discussion, you are free to so do. Okay. I wonder whether it's that same officer who shot a man in Vermont a few weeks ago. You trying to get me in trouble, counsel? I'm not getting involved in that. Yes, but I was told that he shot somebody recently, and that is why he was removed and placed on the beat. So so I am concerned why he was reassigned, but I was told that he may have some godfather. Father Abraham, I didn't hear you mention anything about the officer knocking on the main. You're trying to get me in trouble too, but I give you more information on that. I didn't hear you mention anything about a police officer knocking on the main entrance of the house and declaring himself as police officer and giving the resident reasonable time to come to the door, knowing 3 a.m. in the morning. They will be in bed. Obviously, he was sleeping and he heard like somebody was trying to break in the house, as I indicated. And that is when I was told, woke up his girlfriend and indicated that somebody was trying, and he went out to the back. He went out to the back door. So I'm not going to, you have to hold away for me, please. Let me finish reading this. And they will be in bed. The law instructs you that if someone raises a clenched fist or a piece of stick at you, a gun should not be used as a line of defense. Yes, it's not reasonable force. You're correct. Running away in the case doesn't warrant someone shooting a gun at you. Well, he wasn't running, but that is what the officer alleged, because he was on the ground. So a man can't be on the ground with the police officer over him, as I was told, with a gun, and he was running. But that is what the police officer used as his quote unquote defense. There is no line of defense in this case. I agree with you. Just as we were told that you cannot shoot a person in the back, and that is for the same reason. No line of defense. Police officer cannot be triggered happy, especially when they are carrying out their duties. They are there to serve and to protect, not break in and shoot. The court always look at what is reasonable, what a reasonable person will have done in the case like these. We know that shooting at a running person away is not reasonable, but asking a person who was shot, why are you running, will be a main line the court will look at. I get back to that. Let me just take the call. A pleasant good evening. Hello?
Hello, brother
Yeah,
Abraham.
go right ahead.
Good night. When I heard you with that matter,
Mm-hmm.
I will bring up something that happened to me. Nearly say, when I was living in Bottomtown, I used to work in a scene. My father, white man, finally was the captain. In that day, you tell a lot of Jack Pishau Kelakwa. So we get the message say, a lot of Jack Pishau Kelakwa. So we left from Bottomtown the Wednesday, and we go out there. We spend Wednesday out there, the Thursday. So after the break, we didn't see no place. We kept until we come back in town. The Thursday evening, we reached back in town around 2 to 3 o'clock around it. Regularly complex was the water. We took sustain all day. But the week day, we move up the same day. So I had my fish pots in the harbor for those time was when I was out 12 o'clock. So tell I go back hope. Really from back from Lay, back to Cyrus brother. I said, Babu, we go haul the fish pot. We take a small boat and we go. Why you hauling the fish pot? I see a whole lot of people running up and down in Bottom Tongue. So I said, Babu, what's going down at Bottom Tongue? What you call the people run up and down? I said, like something happened. When they come in with the boat and the fish pot, because they disappear. But we had about a few police, they were still. I come in and haul up my boat. I take my fish pot rope and the buoy. The same yard ripper I used to put up my buoy, my rope and thing. 3 policemen were there in front of the gate. One know me well. I said, officer, could you allow me to go in to put down my fish pot rope and buoy? They say, one day, yes, Jody, go ahead. I go in, I put down my rope and everything. I come out, I go in to see a bed. I go in the bath, after I done bed, I rinse off my and I go home and put on my clothes. Bob says, so we go and go watch football. Was police and another team. And my man used to back police team. But the police team was so weak. I said, man, I ain't going wrong park, man. I go in Harlem Edge. A big building on Battle in Harlem Edge. A guy was running have jukebox and thing. In them days, you had jukebox, you could have put in the 20 pounds and you get ever music you want. When I was there, punching me music and me one dip and me run a dance, I feel somebody touch me on my shoulder, but me do sometimes them fellas don't make joke with me. I didn't tell them. When I feel somebody pull me, when they pull me, was 7 police around me. A police officer said, this is a man who bust me head. I said, me? Me and what know you? He said, yes, you're a police boss. You're the man who bust me head. And the police and them hold me with me waist. They didn't hold my hand. And they started to bring me. One tall police with a gold. He said, no, this man, no, he had one ear strap. And when he reached the people downstairs about, oh God, I watch them a beat. I saw them a beat up there. Man, it's a man the bill. Officer man the bill, he was the man in charge of the police them at the time. Police officer felt one way a strap after me head to bust me there. A blackish strap. And me hand go down in me head, he bought me like a pepper. If the strap will make me head, I won't be here today. Man, they will call out and tell them what all don't have the man, bring him down. Nobody knock him. And they bring me down and man, the bill came up to the police, nobody knock him. They came up to the police station. While I was there, they bring 2 other brothers, one named Horman and another guy. 2 innocent men, we sit down there. After a while, in the coming evening, they put you in the cell and they lock you up. My girlfriend Gladys Evans got Billy. The other a guy named Plick Haynes, what I mean is the government. And he go to Plick Haynes and outline and tell Plick Haynes happen. Plick Haynes, okay, in the morning I will be there. In the morning, around 8 o'clock, we shall come and they say, give me bail. They give me bail. Yeah, the Commissioner of Police, Benny Anderson, he used to be down Watson Town. He used to friend the girl. The girl told me I must go to Mr. Anderson. When in the office, Mr. Anderson, I put my case to him. He say, what kind of thing this be? This can't be right. But I can't drop the case Because if I drop the case, then go to me than the police. The commissioner police, give me some statement box in court when they came. The boy don't ask me forgot. We get bail. The Monday morning, they carry 3 of us to court. Well, in the court, well, they lock up Dickie Pan.
So how you connecting it to the incident?
No water coming on, I'm telling you what's going down. Dickie Pan and his 2 sons, they locked him up, and his 2 sons and the family. They was in the court out there too. When they called me up in the box, they said, Mr. Stewart, you was brought here to boss one police officer. Heavy. Can you tell me, say, Dickie Van get up? He was a JP. And say, my worship, could I say something? Say, yes, go up in the box. He said, my worship, innocent. What really happened? This police officer lock up one of family money. If I say you have warrant for me that way, police, if go tell him what, I have a boy boss out under me seat there. Could you carry me to where me just me boil and then I'm going to go with you? He said no, and he started at the pan drop on the ground. This man go to me say, officer, you arrest this guy? He said yes. He said allow him to haul up the pants. And I'm a JP. From his time, he says, box Dickie Pan in the face. And the road, once you box Dickie Pan in the face, back on tongue and Dickie Pan, go all of them, father and so. And so they start beating. So this man, his sword, is innocent. He know nothing. The magistrate say, but we're going down here. See, officer, how you could bring these men here? And you, Dickie Pan out and everything. And the magistrate, they solved the case. This magistrate say, tell the police officer, you all really want to get the police force in trouble. You hear what Mr. Lo say? Mr. Lo say this man wasn't nowhere there. This thing happened to he and his family. So if they keep going here, get up and ask him at the jail if he could say something, or with a Ghana jail.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But the guy give me one lash with the slap. If that means catch me there with that.
How long ago was that?
Huh?
How long ago was that?
How
long ago was that?
that good world now, good world.
Okay.
We was living in Batonton.
Well, they have different police officers now.
Yeah. And the police officer was from
Okay.
Barry.
All right, thank you.
So you see,
Yes.
if somebody, if they keep on to my arrest too,
Yes.
or the Ghana jail put something that I
Yeah, know nothing about. Okay.
So,
Enjoy your
that's why I
night.
bring up the matter.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Poya, I don't know if you saw the thing with the Prime Minister planning to carry the document to Parliament to seek to seek reconciliation in terms of what transpired. But boy, the problem I hate it, the question I have, right? Don't laugh. My question I have is that the Prime Minister said he know for fact that he was doing the will of God. And I'm paraphrasing, I think it's some word to the effect that he was doing the will of God. So if you were doing the will of God, how come you asking for forgiveness? Which God he was doing his will for? Who God and which will? Because if you were doing the will of God and you know that you are on the right track, then there is no need for ask for reconciliation or forgiveness. So I have problem at the outset with the document. I believe what was done was wrong, and we maintain that for the last 4 years or so. We believe that there was a breach of the individual constitutional right. But here the question I have: how are you going to reconcile with person who are gone to the great beyond? A lot of person have gone to the great beyond. What reconciliation are you going to seek from those individuals who are gone on the great beyond? Some of those individuals would have lost their livelihood. I know one of my friends told me that there was a particular principal, and because of her religious persuasion, she didn't took the vaccine. And when she looked at her, had to sell what we call lettuce and callaloo to survive. It breaks her heart. So we have the come in, man.
While on that, sir, I was asked a number of questions, as actually I was in and around and about. When you see, if I saw the Prime Minister shedding crocodile tears, I say shedding crocodile tears, so what he said, yes, she was pleading for the public servants and the teachers and police and all who were affected by the vaccine mandate to return to their jobs. And he said he is going to Parliament to pass legislation.
Correct.
So it would be under his watch that the services that they had done before would be accumulated once they return towards their whole pension. So I said, but isn't this matter has gone to the Privy Council? So what is it that he really is saying? And then he also further stated that he didn't do anything wrong. But now he's being inclusive of saying that this bill will be taken to Parliament. So how come before, when you did all these things that you did, Parliament wasn't involved, and it was you?
Hey, my dear boy, the vaccine mandate was never repealed. It's still. Let me take this call. Pleasant good night. Okay, wait. Pleasant good night. Okay, take care, boy. Go on.
So it has me perplexed. And why you choose now? Because this matter has been, it has never died. Correct. Since it was put in place. And there has always been issue. Correct. Coming out about it. And every now and again there would be a flare-up when information comes from the wider world, stating the whole situation about.
That's the only point. A pleasant good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night. Good night.
In all of this debate,
yes,
I am not hearing anybody attempting to advocate for all of those students who received an ungraded result as a result of this wickedness that was done to all of those teachers who had to vacate their posts.
Okay.
Just prior to these students submitting their SPAs. So as a consequence, hundreds of students in St. Vincent and Grenadines received an ungraded mark for all of their monies that their parents would have paid. Nobody is talking about these people and how would they be compensated in any form of fashion. And as I said before, and this probably would have gone on for, I think, 2 years instead of 1 year, because these persons were doing their SPAs that first year in the next year, these were the same students that were attached to some of these same teachers that were pursuing their SPAs as a preliminary part of their grade.
Correct.
So for about 2 years, and as I said, hundreds of students that were impacted. And nobody is at least advocating for these people here. Nobody is putting up their story. Nobody is trying to say, let's try to see how we can address these parents who suffer that particular loss, because they lost those monies that they paid for those subjects. And that's another issue that, and you know, this Prime Minister's continues to amaze me. I know this election here, and I'm already predicting that perhaps he is going to get through with this after he gives those monies to the students and them for the CXC performances and the advanced students, the 11 college students. After that, probably in September, we are getting elections in November. That is my prediction for this particular year. And he's raising this issue now with teachers to placate again our circumstances in Vincent Grenadines. I notice that he's not touting, he's not standing up on the authority of this new hospital or the wharf that he's building there, because apparently those are not things to show. They don't have adequate structures there to indicate to the general public that something is happening there. Yes, we are seeing foundations, and all of the bassa with regards to the wharf seem to have thrown that trumpet on a muzzle. So we're not hearing those two things touting about as being these pinnacles to show. I know we had a road government. Now we are hearing about road reconstruction for the last, I think, 4 years. I think over the last 4 years, I think more than $200 million has been designated to road repairs. And so, somehow or the other, these roads cannot be repaired until winter. Whatever is holding up, we really don't know. But the Prime Minister came again with these crocodile tears. And I am really, it's not surprising to me, as I said before. He continues to harp on this thing. He keeps saying it, and as he harps on it, he keeps saying that not many teachers are still out there. Not many civil servants are still out there holding fast to this vaccine that they're not taking, this injection that they're not taking. He still says that only a few of them. But he's wonder why he is so convicted. Is something wrong? Did he really think that he has made this grave error, this grave political error that is definitely going to take him away now from his supremacy, his world boss status? I am thinking that is the direction that he wants to go. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you too. Pleasant good night.
Good night, Abraham, and good night for you.
Good night.
Good night.
Now, Abraham, after listening to you with that thing with the shooting with the policeman in Clare Valley, Chauncey, because I wasn't up here, I was on in the Grenadines. And I'm listening to you there. What the police really went for? What they went there
I
to
believe
look for?
it's ammunition.
Did this policeman who gets shot had on bulletproof vest?
Can I help you with that?
Because if he didn't have on bulletproof vest, it just tell you how the police force unprofessional. Because you can't tell me you go in and search for ammunition.
But I don't think so, because I think in the chest he was shot. Yes, I don't think he had on bulletproof.
Right, because what I'm saying, because I think I heard the news that he gets shot in somewhere in the chest or somewhere.
Yeah, in the chest, yes.
Right. So
well, it's not, and it's not directly. It's after it went through the other guy.
Yeah, because I already said that too. But I know hearing that too. So
yes.
It kind of sounds funny to me too, to be honest. That this policeman shoot at this man, and the bullet, let's say, go to the man and get this the policeman.
Yes.
That is how it went.
That is what I was told.
But to be honest, too, I just tell myself the police are them unprofessional, because I will tell you something. You can't tell me you go and look for ammunition at somebody's place that kind of hour in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever the time may be, and you go in there without bulletproof vests. I mean to say, if you meet somebody on the street and you pick them up, searching them or something like that, but remember, it's a radio going and make, you know.
Yes.
So you don't know what you will be coming up against. So everybody should have one bulletproof vest, all the policemen.
And we want the body cameras too.
Yeah, well, that necessary too, but at least for protection. Protection.
We need protection. We need protection, and we need the truth.
Well, I doubt you will get that, you know.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Anytime you hear they talk and say that they ain't be hiding nothing and they come in with the facts and whatnot, you don't know that right there, you know they're lying.
No, I say I agree with you. So the bulletproof vest for the protection of the police officer and the body camera for the protection of the rest of us.
Right, but I quite agree. Because all know how they just lie sometime, eh?
Sometime? yeah, some boy.
Yeah, sometimes. But that is my real main concern, because to be honest, I have people in the police service there, and boy, I wouldn't like to hear that they're going on a raid and he doesn't have on his bulletproof vest, because if anything can happen, especially if you know you're going to look for guns and ammunition. Every policeman should have on some kind of protection. Yeah, so I really find it funny.
I agree with you, but the thing is that nobody should be shot there under the circumstances.
Yeah, no, well, I know that, you know, Abraham.
Yes.
But what I'm saying...
Yeah, I agree with you, general principle.
You know, you go in there to look for that. You don't know what will come up again.
Correct.
You understand? So you have to protect yourself. So if he didn't have on bulletproof vest, well, they assure you that the police services, they're not really up to standard. Yeah, man. All the best.
Yeah, you too. All right.
Nice to be back up.
Okay, all right.
All right.
There is no need for any law. Gun service playing the fool with foolishness. The people, God-given and constitutional right has been trampled on. I agree. The only law is needed is a law to repeal the evil vaccine mandate. I agree with you 100%. He, in the rhythm section, the man singing a parang, it will be like heaven lost when they defeat the world boss. Yes, we are listening to Keeping It Real right here on Nice Radio. I think I have about 1 point before you come back in. Gentlemen, let's not forget that this person who want to go to Parliament to ask for forgiveness is the same person who during the last election was at the Market Square and many other places asking the voters for the same forgiveness. What has he done with the last forgiveness that he took from the voters? If he had done good with it, he would not have been asking for forgiveness again. How many times we need to forgive this man, Vincent Chan? Man, may God help us. You see, the thing is that main thing is that Dr. Gonza played to people's emotion and people, sorry to say that, stupidity. And sorry to say that. Because Sir James also told us that they remember the last meal. So what happened, they suffered all the time. Some of them, relatives would have passed to the great beyond. Some of them are still sick. I was told up to today, teacher died. And when I heard the story, I know the individual well. And I was told that she indicated that she was feeling sick. And they went, okay. Yes, but the teacher died. And a lot of that happened in the last couple of years. And all Dr. Gonsalves should have done long time ago is repeal the COVID mandate when he lost at the court in the first instance. If he wanted to find out other things, he had the Attorney General bill, I can't remember the name of it now. He could have sent to the court or higher court and get a different advice if he wanted that. And but we were told early up that it's going to take about 3 years, and if it go, he'll go all the way to the Privy Council. And now election almost imminent. Dr. Gonzalez trying to ask people for their forgiveness and all those other things, and we haven't heard about repealing the bill, Boyer. So the bill will still be on the book because no discussion as to removing that particular law. We move all sorts of laws that were good for us, but none to deal with that. And the caller is correct, boy. During the examination, a lot of the good teachers, well, I don't know if I should say good, a lot of the teachers that had interest and was helping the children, they were sent home. And the children were basically left to some newcomers.
And left on their own at
Yeah,
some time.
yeah, so left, and then that creates some problems. And some of the teachers who are placed in the schools, they don't have no respect for the principals. And they have no respect for authority because they are sent by godfathers or godmothers. And therefore they do what they like. And that creates some problems because the principals seem like they don't have the authority as they used to because everything seemed to have some politics involved in it. And because Poyer said me, I remember Sir James, well, I heard this from my late friend Pierre Campbell. When person went to Sir James or other persons for work, Sir James will say to them, I could try help you to get the work, but I can't help you to keep it. But these politicians today, they helping you to get the work, and they will do everything for you to keep the work, even if they had to remove heaven and, well, not literally heaven and earth, for you to remain in that position, because all they're looking for is vote, and that is why the society is so ill disciplined
and stagnated and cannot go forward because when you have persons in positions and before they understand the civil service rules and order and all of the other statutories that goes along with the job, they will take a phone or they will go on the computer system or they will forward your email or they will forward your notice. They ain't saying anything to it, or they'll call you and tell you such and such and such. And when you challenge them as to you like to a thing, it will tell you if you don't follow it, you could go home. These are the kind of nonsense that are taking place. And people are living in literally fear because they don't know where to go. But they have a few based on who they converse with and the home that they come out with from, because they are grounded and understand their basic principles and rights. When they challenge them and they know that how they are being pushed back to save face, some of the things that they will do, they will ask for you to be transferred. And not transfer to say to develop. Transfer as a punishment.
Yes.
So what you basically you do, you have a good worker, but because out of spite and malice, and that person defending their right, they are transferred into an area where their skills and ability cannot think, and then they are frustrated.
Yeah, correct.
And then the whole system breaks down. So I was a daft when seeing him also talking about he praising the civil servant for job well done. Civil servants has always been, yeah, you had one of you doing their job.
Gonsalve has staged a coup against his education revolution. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Hello.
Father Abraham.
Yes, good night.
Let me just ask you something. When the government lost the case, when the police, civil servants, teachers, doctors and nurses, when they lost the case, this government not appeal the case.
Yes, that's why I indicated.
They appeal the case.
Yes, because you don't want to take the decision of one judge.
Mm-hmm. The appeal case, what do you think? The job does? The job, the do away with the appeal case that they have over the
No, the appeal decision came back in favor of the government, and the teachers, the public servants took it to the Privy Council.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he do away with that?
No.
He still got over them? They ain't still there?
I don't understand the question, sorry. What the question you're asking?
I asked you to appeal the case.
Yes, and they won the appeal.
And they win the case.
Yes, correct.
So that means them how that case is over the
Oh, you're saying that they could decide we move the law and then let the teachers.
Because the point is the law is still there.
Yeah, correct.
So if the law is still there.
Correct.
And you still got the case. You now move from where they have it now. So how we go come now and ask for forgiveness? When the law still there.
Yes.
So even though they forgive you, you still got the law over the people and they still. What kind of situation are we talking about in this world? Move the so without thing put the rabbit book and throw in the ocean. And let us start the press again.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yes, we were also told that the reason for all the crimes that were laid at the feet of the previous government, well, it was Sir James and Toussaint, was because of police officers at the time were equipped. 25 years later, under this government, police officers are serving a weapon without protected vest. Did we move forward or backward? Let me tell you the truth. The police officers of yesteryear were not as certified as these police officers, but they used to do a far better job. And I say that without any fear of contradiction. They used to do a far better job than the certified one with all the masters and all the law degree and all other things. The police officers of yesteryear, they were more smart, more, and used to do a better job, in my opinion. These police officers are extremely certified, but God help us. And the thing is that we should have moved forward for a longer time, because here it happened. We talked recently about body cameras. I was told that they had some body cameras as old as Christopher Columbus, and they may not even be working. So they need for new body cameras. And we heard recently from the same Attorney General in terms of amending the laws to make it relevant to what is happening in society. So the law is outdated. The same laws on the book. What we did. Okay, let me take this call. What we did. Somebody told me I must make my point first. But go ahead. Good night.
Yes, good night, gentlemen.
How are you doing?
Good, good.
Okay, nice.
Abraham,
how are you doing?
They have body cameras?
Yeah, they have body cameras, but
they have all kind of things. Remember when they had a protest that came out in the costume?
Yes.
With more shield and this and that. They never knew they had all of them things.
Yes.
So
the riot case.
Yes. Now, you were saying that the Prime Minister asked for forgiveness.
Now, me say that the article.
The article?
Yeah. And then, let me see, Anna News, and I think it's Eyewitness News.
So why you display people emotion, sir?
That's what I'm saying. He appealed to the emotion.
You remember it at a time.
He got the grammar school playing field and ball. Yes, and ball.
With a whole set of hymns and songs.
Correct.
And say, oh, he don't want to leave any unfinished task.
Yes, correct.
And all them things there. Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah. So you see, the people them then in this plantation setting to have mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because look what the man sick. He suffer for how much years?
Yes, yes.
How much years he suffer for the Californium?
20 something years. Yes.
20, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden he revive. He had revival.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's the mindset of the people them.
Mm-hmm.
The master, the mindset, they're not seeing beyond certain things. See, ask for forgiveness. Now listen to me. You won't get much steam from this vaccine mandate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed when it came out, certain PM, member parliament, along Mr. Friday, they beat on it and said the NP will give whatever, compensate the workers or whatever.
Correct.
Now, Abraham, let me tell you now, Mr. Gonsalves know what he's doing because when he implemented that mandate, he said, "Oh, you don't worry, they still will vote for me." And much people don't realize what happened there. The civil servant that at present working were given jobs by Ralph Gonsalves administration. You understand? And the thing with black people, especially, two things ingrained in their mind is if you get them a job and a house or a piece of land. Okay?
Sometimes it's piece of food too.
Piece of food. Nothing ain't moving you. Once it's a job. So he knew what he was saying. And up to today, you won't get no steam or anything. No. NDP brought out a protest. They didn't have to do it, right? To help the civil servants and what's not and police. Did they pay? It was nil. You understand? Because all of them are obligated. They're obligated workers. Right. They were given jobs and what's not. Because 24 and those people were 18 and 24, 40s, early 40s, that is the workforce in the public service. So this stick, excuse me, know what he's saying. Now, I want to hit on a thing with Vybz Kartel. Okay? You know, Vybz Kartel was slated to go to Trinidad to do a show. Yes, and they treated him like an outcast. Right? They imposed restriction on him. He was not to make any public appearance.
At the schools.
At the school.
Yeah, he was limited.
On the TV.
Yeah, yes. It was,
on the TV, the defense minister limited public engagement because he said he wanted to go and speak to the children there.
No, not he. The promoters was suggesting it.
Yes. For them to refrain from going down certain road. But the government said he went down that road already.
Correct.
So this raised it. So they had him like an outcast, right? And he didn't get his VIP treatment that you will get here when he lands.
No, he never went. He abandoned.
No, he would not have gotten it.
Okay. Yeah, correct.
Yes, man, with the passport, you didn't have to go to customs as immigration, as this and that. Trinidad of all countries. They had so much crime and what's not, and they're taking a stance now. What happened to us?
And one of the things they said that he wasn't a role model for the...
He wasn't a role model,
they said
for
that.
the children, them.
Correct.
He wasn't supposed to be on a TV show. So when it came that he did not appear, I believe it's that damn name. And it had nothing to do with no deposit and money and what's not. So I hope the Prime Minister's taking note of that. Okay? Trinidad had him like an outcast.
Correct.
Real outcast. No prior there?
He went outside to come back.
He went outside, okay. Yes. So I want him to talk about this Vybz Kartel thing because he may be slated to come back and what's not. Then there's another thing that the present government is doing boldly. Now in South Windward, okay? I read in the newspaper that Miss Morgan.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I call Vice Morgan. Somebody suggested that she was paving the way for whoever come in, okay, to be the candidate or what. And Abraham, this person is living in a world by itself. She came back and rebutted that and said, no, it's not so.
I remember when,
reading it. I want me say, Lord, where does boldness come from?
I remember when the guy asked her the question.
Where does boldness come? She said, no, paving the way. I am paving my own way. I'm supposed to be the candidate. Yes. And then what dawned in my mind? You remember when Margaret Landon was to run?
Yes.
But she said, what happened? Oh
They
boy,
come up with all sorts of
it was like a
stories.
carnival.
Yes.
Oh, and then they end up in the end saying she could have contested.
Yeah, all of us know that, but she
Oh
made the
my God!
decision
So
to
why
sit down.
they doing these things? So why certain people have certain privileges? Eh?
Somebody told me one time that the NDP party is more a party of moral principle than the ULP. So that is the reason why they could appeal to.
The too nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be tit for tat sometime. You see? You have to be assertive. So what I'm trying to tell and then there's another thing that always coming with the thing that the MP in Central Kingston say the funds now. Where you
Yeah, the constituency development fund.
Yes, you never beat that when you get in office, you implement it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to the strangling yourself with trying to convince.
No, but that was during 2003 during the referendum, during the constitutional referendum. So
yes, but something when you get in implemented, it was there before. You understand?
Well, it wasn't like but they had money for it, but it's not like what he was suggesting, which is a better thing, I believe. Because you can't.
What he's suggesting is something better.
Yeah, far better.
Far better.
Yeah, because that is why Gonta was able to remove certain things because it wasn't law. So why he was suggesting to make it a part of the law that the representative in the constituency can be able to identify certain things in his constituency.
No, you have any result on the CPA
not
exam?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
So you find it taking longer than usual?
The same thing Poya was saying earlier on.
Yeah, taking longer than usual. No.
So it's 3 weeks on.
1,600 children went for the exam.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't got... What we have in education is not quality education. You understand? And if you notice, the person who just projecting this revolution with education is the ULP themselves. Because we know you don't have that. And one time I went and have a chat with 2 teachers. And one of them told me plain, what happened? You want to come after us because they're going to blame us. You understand?
Yes.
So then this is a in the lion loop. Mm-hmm. You understand? We need quality education.
Your friend reaching now.
You reaching?
Yes.
No, Poya. Mr. Poya, good night. Poya, something is worrying me. Poya?
Poya, yes.
My darling Sonia.
Yes. Poya, tell me one thing that you are so pleased of.
I miss you so much, Sonia.
Yes. Tell me something that you are pleased of that mental put in gear. Tell me something. For 24 years. Be honest, eh?
Something that I'm pleased about?
Yeah, that you see it's walking and everything. You tell me one thing. So long?
The victimization.
Poya.
The victimization.
Poya, you have to ask for forgiveness, Tony, already. Huh?
I don't went there already, Sonia. Why would I, if I didn't ask for forgiveness, say that I was one of those who was deceived by this man and believed that he had something good to offer us?
Yeah,
and block the road.
But Paul gave me one thing at least, something.
I tell you, victimization.
Oh my God, have mercy. Oh Lord, so we work was in vain then?
No.
You won't say that?
No.
Now come back to the you said something tonight which I was pleased about. That the farmers them and the market vendors them and what's that don't have any. We need an export market, okay? We have plenty fruits and vegetables around, plenty. And with the planting, somebody says because Trinidad planting is in and there's no market for the planting. But they won't come and tell you that, okay?
So I know all about that, Sonia.
Yes, so they're trying to, yes, but some people don't know the one. Because some people think it's a gift. The planting is not a gift really, you know. It's because they have, well, I won't say over.
They have They have what happened is that after the Hurricane Beryl last year, the plantain is one of the resilient crop that have come back.
Okay.
As compared to some others because there's a scarcity of bananas still.
pay.
If you notice that.
All right.
And a lot of the grammar shell field were not properly maintained. And added to that is a triple whammy, because you are affected by the Moko and Sigatoka.
And the minister.
And also too, yes.
But Abraham.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
the frigate of unnecessary fertilizer, right? I'm not allowing the technical personnel to go and implement the tech pack on every farmer's land, so that they will not abuse the and poison the soil with a whole set of unnecessary sulfates and ammonia.
So we're all the officers, the agriculture officers, them.
When the man numbers that you wouldn't tell me they must go plan his extensions station.
Yeah, extension officers who used to demonstrate, go on people farmers.
Yeah, in the earlies.
Yeah. But the minister tell the senior extension officer he must have nothing to do with the extension and don't go upon the propagation station them and tell an officers that she have no right to go to the Prime Minister about him and obscene to the highest.
Lord, that is the world we live in.
Well, those are allegations. We can't prove that.
They are not allegations.
Those are allegations. We can't prove that.
But Abraham,
I can prove it because I was one of the persons.
Okay.
Let me recall. You remember when Marcus de Freitas was minister of agriculture?
Yes. You
remember he had a program called Winter Crop. I don't know if you were.
I've been around.
Poya, you remember Winter Crop?
Yes.
Poya's old grandfather.
With a whole set of watermelon and so at Rebecca farm we couldn't get here.
If you see fruits, Abraham.
Yes.
If you see healthy fruits, don't talk about the cucumbers. Cucumbers.
Yeah. Well, cucumbers are plentiful now too.
Yes, no, but I'm talking about the bumper crop that he had for this project, Winter. You know that one term that man did surpass Subota Caesar. You know that?
By far.
Next to Subota Caesar looks shame.
By far.
Yes.
By far.
And he wasn't trained and qualified as.
He wasn't trained and qualified.
But Subota ain't trained and qualified either.
We produce.
In the field.
Yes.
No, I was telling him Subota is a lawyer.
No, he grew up on
Subota is a lawyer.
He grew up on farming.
He's a lawyer. Subota can't be used a weed eater. He's a farmer. He's a lawyer.
And he goes into the field and
yes, but agriculture. I don't understand what happened with agriculture.
My friend is a lawyer.
Documentation on cassava. What happened to the cassava and root? Huh?
The man does puppy shows every election, so.
Yes, and we know into the carnival season, right? And Poya. All right, that's going to be for another time. Have a good day.
Okay, you too.
Sonia.
Okay, you too.
Oh, you could just run out for me, so. Come on.
I agree with you, Brother Abraham. My father was ahead in intelligence gathering as an old police officer. Yeah, the old police officer was far better. Everyone has a right to work. The job does not belong to conserve taxpayers' money spending. Yes, and you know it's about taxpayers' money. I was listening to the Prime Minister of, let me take the call.
Think it?
No. Pleasant good night.
Sorry to call.
No problem. Go ahead.
Now that Joel is back in the station.
Yes.
Joel, I was told by the president of the Fishing Association that there are over 4,000 fisher folk. Can you give us an approximate number of farmers? And I'm not talking about those farmers who are in the field. Those farmers who have they have some kind of ID.
Farmers ID?
About how? Yeah, people.
Yeah, probably about around the about 4,000 plus farmers. Farmers ID.
Okay. With farmers ID, right?
Yeah. But can be much more than that. By another 1,000 persons who are into farming. And if we take it farming in the wild aspect of how they talk, including things like backyard gardening and those sort of things. Because that's how they spell it. Because even person with a backyard garden have farmer's ID.
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking a political question. I'm not only talking about those persons, just like the fisher folk.
But if you're talking about the real farmers,
that's what
I can bring it down to about 3,500.
Okay, because I wanted to know the Camilo was indicating to us that we have a 60% employment rate. So I want to know those persons in the fishing industry and those people in the farming industry, those people who have IDs and are not legitimate. Because I mean, this has to be some numbers that they're adding to these to reflect that we have a 60% employment rate. Because I can't see it in St. Vincent and Grenadines that we have a 60% of our population are employed. I can't see it, Joel, unless you can probably give me some numbers.
What you have happening?
I will try to find out the information for next week from my friend.
What you have happening basically is person who may register one-off at the NIS. Like concerning the right now we have the road jobs going on, right? And you may have a couple guys who hang about on the blocks and they doesn't think so. In order for them to think, they have to register at the NIS and all that. So that will be into, but it's sporadic. It's not a continuous employment, right? But they they would be counted in the labor force.
But Joel, that's a small number. That's not a 4,000 number that you're talking about. I mean, I can't see 4,000 fisher folk in St. Vincent and Grenadines. It's difficult for me to see 4,000.
No, you're talking no. About fisher folk, since I would say it's around bordering around 2,000.
No, but I am saying, according to the president was indicating quite clearly that they are, and as I said, just like the farming industry, these people are given ID. So this had to be some kind of system that is put in place to make these numbers as astronomical as they can be, to boost that rating in relation to the employment population.
Because I don't see we have that amount of canoes and trawlers employing these sort of people, unless some of those persons who are applying the trade are registered as fisher folks.
I have a friend who have a ID for fishing, and he is a bus driver and don't go on the. No, I'm serious. He go.
No, but that's how it is. That's how it is.
John, that is how I'm estimating this. This is how I'm going in this particular direction. I'm saying there are people with IDs who are definitely
correct
benefiting from these IDs politically. Correct. And not in relation to their particular industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's quite clear to me. So I this numbers that, as I said before, that this minister is touting in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I mean, we have more idle people in Kingston, for example, than 10 years ago. We have more beggars in Kingston.
That is an industry now.
Okay, fair enough. That is quite an industry. And Joel, I disagree with you in relation to what you said in relation to policing 20, 30 years ago. I mean, policing 20, 30 years ago was more brutal than anything else.
Yeah, but it was better.
I don't know what
in terms of intelligent gathering.
Wait, hold on. We are the ones who had more respect for those people in authority.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. I mean, I walked down the road, I saw a policeman. I mean, even though I did not do anything, I was not in any way a perpetrator of evil.
Okay. But you don't pull up to attention.
That's right. I had respect for these particular people, you know. But these days, the way these policemen carry themselves, I don't have much respect for them. And crimes last. I mean, we had crime in my days growing up. We had
correct. Correct.
We had people who were more law abiding. Now in this present generation, for the last 20-something years, we have a proliferation of criminality in St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Because
we have more guns.
Because remember, it was said that we will make the country ungovernable.
And of course.
And that is, and words are very powerful.
That's right, and we are eating those words. Right?
Yeah, we are living it. Because, like for instance, this afternoon, I coming along from Heritage Square, walking on the lanes. 2 youngsters from a secondary school. It seems they probably maybe Form 1, Form 2. So there were 2 elderly ladies in front of me, so I had to slow my steps to give them time to think. Here come the 2 youngsters. Barge past me, one brushing to me, and turn around and looking at me in a manner as if she wanted to put me. So I say, youngster, what's the matter with you? You only look, you know. Right, so he told me.
Lucky you push down. Lucky you ain't push down. But Joel, and now that you mentioned this is your school children,
I am saying,
don't you? But we are seeing a proliferation of
first time
children.
That couldn't happen. Because the youngster would have turned around and said sorry. But what this youngster think, it kind of like have me amazed because she is in the wrong.
No. But forget about wrong and right, Joel. We are seeing a proliferation of school children on the streets today that should be in school. Correct. And I was wondering why. And it happens all throughout the year. It's not just happening at any particular point in time.
I don't know if you listen to the president of the association when he calls sometime in terms of we call it in a truant officer. I think he call a different name. No, it's not. So he says only 1 in the whole of St. Well, 2 in the whole of St. For the whole of St. Vincent today. We expect.
And 1 is a Jamaican.
Yes, correct. so that's the problem you have too. Even some of the principals just help. Yes.
No, but I agree that it's really a difficult task.
Correct.
1.
Correct.
I didn't know it was 2, Joel. I thought it was only 1.
No,
I know it's up 1.
Okay.
I didn't know they have implemented 2 now. But it goes back to the point that I was raising with you with regard to the policing.
Yes.
We have a system that seems to be degenerated in terms of our behavior and our conduct.
Correct.
And it's getting worse over the divisions. And I wonder what can we do to pull it back? If we look at this bad boy that we have there as Prime Minister, to that seems to be what he is exhibiting, this bad boy behavior, that he can do anything. He can go to Parliament and say he's not talking to the minister, to his opposition leader. He not. I don't understand, and he doesn't think that this is impacting the persons who are looking up to him as the leader of this country. So that is what we're doing. We're going back into this particular degeneration.
And he hasn't in terms of like come down from the height that he's on. Because in recent, as Monday gone, in talking about the public servants and he getting his head bust as going into Parliament and so. And he said that he's not referring to them because they and their demonstration. But they also gloated and feel glad about him. He have no regard, respect in that sort of way towards them and having any inkling as to having any discussion with them. So when I heard that, I said, he still has not humbled himself.
Remember, the man had a perfect finger in it. Remember when he gave that the finger salute? He had a perfect finger.
Boy.
I mean, when it was alleged that he raped Michelle Andrews, he said he gave her a reassuring kiss. So these kind of provocations from the Prime Minister.
And then the situation with his son and the young girl. And he said,
don't talk about that. That provokes me to anger all the time. Every time I hear that.
She must keep a dignified silence. What is dignified silence about such a matter?
What matter? Why they shot Mr. John in his home, in the sacrosanct of his home, and Mr. John can't identify, can't point out.
Because a ghost.
Why he shot?
Because a ghost, the 2 individuals were ghosts.
CJ, the police vehicle ran over CJ, and CJ led to CJ's demise and his death. Up till now, we cannot have a coroner's inquest. Going into the 4th year, the 3rd and the 4th year, we still cannot get a coroner's inquest.
But then the same situation, similar whereby the police sergeant who killing friendly fires.
Chambers.
Yeah. And that still you can't have no coroner's inquest and you can't get no result.
The policemen who beat up that boy and they were charged and they got back their jobs. I mean,
Yes.
all of these things, you ask yourself the question, and we perpetuating this system of injustice in St. Vincent and Grenadine. You are telling me you fire people, and I just call it a vaccine. And I mean, I don't know if it's a vaccine. A vaccine is supposed to prevent you from disease and prevent you from spreading the disease. This injection that we had did neither.
Correct.
So I don't know how it became a vaccine really, and I don't know why they're still calling it a vaccine. It was an injection, a trial injection, and people should have been refused to take it. People who did that, they refused to take it, but it was imposed upon us. And I don't understand that. Why is it? Joel, you have any idea? How is it it's taking so long to get the decision from the Privy Council?
Well, usually matter like that take a bit of time, because usually plenty things the Privy Council has a lot
but we're talking about almost a year now.
Yeah, but I hopefully check and hope that by September they should be recalling it. But usually sometimes that thing may take a year and a half, 2 years.
No, I can see something that is difficult to. I mean, I can't see any difficulty in this particular situation. This was a straight case. This was a straight. The false magistrate did not even take. She did not even take so long to come to the decision because it was a simple case. It was a simple case. It was not
your constitutional rights. You can't infringe on people's constitutional rights, which is order of the country.
Forget about constitutional rights, Joel. Imagine if they allow this vaccine mandate to stand. What happens to society? If a government can mandate something like this, what happens to society? Like what is trying to...
But then again, we were the only country in the OECS to implement it. The only. And at the same time, in the Caribbean on a whole, and we had the lowest death count, the lowest infection count, and all these sort of things.
But the rest of the Caribbean wasn't doing the will of the Lord.
Joel, you must say them things to them, man. You're making me feel bad. You're really making me feel bad, man. You just walk on the Lord.
But then you have some...
The Lord that we sell in the supermarket.
No, but you have some persons who still on air perpetuating these ignorance. Yeah.
But we are moving slowly but surely into a more dejected society, a rejected society, a controversial society, a society of where we are seen as victims, not as victors. And we have this victim mentality that continues to just drive us forward. People are so afraid to talk, even to have a simple conversation on the road. If Joel passed on the road, I can't talk to Joel. If I don't talk to Joel, I can lose my job. That's the kind of mentality that is driving us forward as a nation, and we need to stop that. We really need to curtail that. People need to recognize that you have a right to speak. Once you say things within the confines of the law, you don't want to malign anybody. You don't want to ensure that you have a civil suit. You want to ensure that what you say, you're talking with conviction, but what you're saying makes sense. Not only makes sense, but it is within the law.
I was threatened.
All, and you can...
I was threatened 3 Monday Wednesdays ago with a guy. He had alcohol in his head, yes, but besides that, he was certain sure know what he was speaking about. He came up in front of me with a cutlass and planned to chop me up because I was talking ill about his government. Yeah.
And that is a frightening thing in a drill. We can't.
No, I ain't slighted because I went and reported to the police and they wanted to give me a wrong story and all sorts of things. I tell them I would know what to do next time. So that the corporals say I had no right to making that statement because I come in to make a report and then I still want to have my own justice. I said, based on what you was telling me, because you tell me to go to the justice of peace, which I know. The justice of peace, the vast majority of them are dunderhead, and they can't deal with the matter. I come to the right place to get the right result, and this is what you is telling me figure out how I like the ordinary public, and I don't understand the law, and I don't understand what should be taking place. So you are negating your job to a justice of peace, who basically, I won't go any further, please.
But did you have it recorded?
Huh?
Did you have it recorded?
Yeah, actually, it to be taken down in the honorary.
Right.
Yeah.
You did the illegal thing. And I tell people these days, if you have a phone, you tape your any kind of interactions you have with the police, you need to tape it. I tell people you walk with the phone, you tape it because you need evidence these days. Everything is evidence based these days. Mr. John will be able to, if Mr. John had taped this conversation with these three ghosts, I don't know if they would have come on the phone, but at least he would have had some record to indicate that these three people just came into his ear. And he had evidence in relation to that. People need to, they have an interaction with the police, you tape them, you record what your interaction is, and you keep it, as I said before, and that's being stored.
But rumors is being stated that one of the goals may be in the upcoming election, maybe a candidate.
I thought she already a candidate. I thought so. Let me know, say she. Let me. I'm saying it's already.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's a male or female. Cause I know they say one of the ghosts maybe a candidate.
But what I know one of the ghosts was also within the in the court. I mean, she was a court officer. So I mean, when those things are frightening just to hear those kind of representations being done. So that's the direction in which we are heading. But great program.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night. Okay. Well, everyone has a more persons have acquired farmers ID since the government give out a few $100 to farmers. Corruption is rampant. Some of them never planted a seed. But no, I was saying that there's 3 officers now. Well, I think the president told me not truancy officers. Can't remember the name he gave me, but they indicated, somebody told me there are 3 now. Okay, that is good, but you need more than 3 for the entire country because a lot of delinquent parents or guardians. So you have children not going to school. Pleasant good night. Pleasant good night.
Good afternoon.
Hey, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Valentine has his program tomorrow and tomorrow.
You make a contribution, man. Make a contribution.
Yes, quickly. Poya, you used the word eat a food a couple of times.
Okay, yes.
And the gentleman concerned, I asked the gentleman on his radio program about those words. He said he never made those words, never used those words. Did you hear him say that? Is it on radio? Did he make that statement on the radio where there's a tape available that we could hear?
Most of us heard it from the opposing candidate, and we never heard it for ourselves.
We never heard it. So
no.
We're just going by what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Second thing, a very popular sanitation guy. He's been on a lot of radio programs complaining about a problem at the sanitation department, and he said the union hasn't done anything.
Mm-hmm.
And what I fear for him is that they will transfer him to somewhere that he doesn't want to be, or he could even get fired, because we remembered Atto Sam used to write a lot of letters in the paper complaining.
Mm-hmm.
They transfer him to Nemo,
mm-hmm.
and then he ended up getting suspended and fired. Remember the guy from the tourism department
mm-hmm.
who made certain complaint about the tourism department, he gets suspended and fired. Remember Anisha Baptiste
mm-hmm.
was writing letters in the newspaper complaining about something, and then she ended up getting suspended. So I'm fair for this guy, because I'm sure he's not the only person that has sanitation, but he's the only guy on radio that is complaining. Just before I go, you can imagine, some years ago we saw deplorable condition at the Oria police station.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if one of those police was calling radio stations and complaining about the Oria police station? You know what happened?
The one in Bearwood did have some renovation too.
But the one that I'm Lago, right too?
That
in Central Kingston?
that policeman would get sent down to North Leeward to work. So it would be worse. You would have to take 2 hours to get to work, 2 hours to and from work.
They don't want productivity.
You remember the one who, I think he show, I think it's the Friday, I can't remember Friday or Tuesday, the opposition leader. He was chant for.
Right.
Yeah.
So that guy from sanitation department, he's gonna get transferred.
Yeah, but the labor group supposed to protect him because in that union, cover him.
The union, he say he complained the union.
The union group is supposed to deal with that.
Yeah.
The brightest person.
All right.
All right, thank
when it
you.
comes to labor.
Have a good night.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too. That's the last call for the night. The union, and we know that it's a waste of time. The only two union function and still relevant is the teachers and the public service union. The rest of them are total waste of time. And I could give you some story, but I wouldn't give you those stories with person who walk in with union leaders. But like I say, I don't get involved.
Well, I know about that. And a number of issues and obscene language are being used on them and asking if they could get something better. But I have something to deal with workers. But I won't bring it up this week, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Yeah, I think the issue of the extension officers, boy, is that in the early days, the extension officer used to do the work. I remember I had an extension.
Because they had the laxative to do it.
I remember I had an extension officer, and she used to be coming on my farm with her water boots.
Well,
I know them, so I see them all the time, but in driving or on the road, but not on the farm. So I don't see them often. Yes, and she used to come on the farm, and then I don't know, all of a sudden they remove her and put in somebody who came in a high heel. My friend didn't call her good night. He must be listening. And then we laughed because we called one time to deal with the incident. And the dodo head told us to catch it and put it in a bottle or kill it when we see it. Boy, good night, my friend. Yeah, so we just have about 3 minutes, boy.
Well, as it is, we keep on plugging on, doing our duties to the country, enlightening and informing and educating the people about their rights, and also telling you how to use your capacity of your intellectually. Also, read. Reading, develop your knowledge, develop your understanding, and it don't kill you. It only make you smarter and prepare you, in a sense, for the development in life. And that's the only thing I can encourage you to doing. Besides, whatsoever little you can, drop it off at Night Gear for this program so that we can continue serving you, because that's all we do. Service to you, the people.
They call attendance officers, I was told, and up to last week there were 2. So I don't know if up to last week there were 2 attendance officers, not truancy officers, but attendance officers according to the Education Act. And there were 2 up to last week. I don't know. But the thing is that, we could do better. And in the early days, everybody used to look out for the children. The teachers used to make sure they keep in close communication with the parents. And they used to call the parents. And I know they have a lot of group chats now. Because most of the teachers and them, they are in group chats that they can communicate. And I know some teachers make the effort and principals to go and look for the children and try to see what is going on. But until next week, we have a wonderful evening.
Keeping It Real is an interactive radio program heard only on Nice Radio.